We ain't live yet, are we?
Yeah, we're
get
live.
This dead gum thing. Hold on, man. Let me get him down just a minute. People gonna see him.
It's live.
Okay, what?
It's live. See, we're live. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
it's Danny and Wanda, and
hold on.
Show them what you're fighting with.
This
Show
thing
them what you're
here
fighting with.
I don't let go of his mouth.
He's tough.
He's a tough little joker. We found him in the pond. He was he's not real big. He's still kind of small. But as long as I can keep him holding on here, man, I may have to get up with him. And I had a thing around his mouth here, but it slipped off. And I wanted to be sure I could get him back on here because he'll be still as long as I keep his mouth held like this. He won't do too much. Can you get that by yourself? Because I can't let go of him.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Y'all, he's
Hang
dealing
on.
with it. What do y'all think he's fighting with here? Y'all see this? Look at this.
Just wait. Just be still. He'll be still as long as I hold his mouth. Just hold on a minute. Give me just a minute. Let me.
He loves wrestling alligators, y'all.
The thing's laying on the floor right here. Give me just a minute. Let me get this thing on the floor.
Oh,
hold on.
He's gonna get him. He's gonna get it, y'all.
I'll get it. Just give me just a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a steel pan. He may get up and move around a little bit, but he's not gonna go anywhere.
Are you through now?
Okay.
He's gonna bite you on the leg.
No, I got that thing around his mouth. He won't do nothing as long as you got something around his mouth.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Hey, Brianna.
Whew.
Yo.
Okay.
You had to wrestle alligators tonight. You just had to do it, didn't you?
Well, I told you I found him in the pond. I told you I said I'm not going to let him. I wasn't planning on you being live all of a sudden. You know, I mean, I was holding you.
They can see him though. They gotta see him.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Oh Lord.
No, if he was wrestling alligator, I really would.
Okay.
No, you want to show them what it is because we got this as a gift today.
We got this today as a gift. Yes. I mean, it goes in the pond. I guess you put an anchor on it or something.
No, it either floats.
Oh, you throw it in the pond and let it float.
It floats in the pond. And
pretty neat though, ain't it? Look at that.
You throw it under your arm, you can't tell he ain't wrestling an alligator. He's been playing with this thing.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool toy.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing here. Donna says you never know what you're gonna find here.
No, not at Deep South.
This is true. This is true.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what I was trying. That's what the name of the thing tonight is. It is what it is. And you know, life is too short. You know, I mean, we got 5 days left to live, and
it is what it is.
Well, no, we got 4 now. We got 4 days left to live before everything goes haywire. So, January the 6th is a magic day, y'all. I mean, I don't know if y'all know that or not, but January the 6th, your future will be decided for you. And so will mine. And so it is what it is. And I'm not sure we're all going to be happy about it, but.
There's Amy.
Yeah. Oh, well, Maggie was on here too.
Yeah, well, that's Brianna. I said, hey, Brianna.
Oh, is it Brianna?
So I spent
There's Trevor. I've seen Trevor. He's on here.
The last 2 days. Yesterday, my son and his wife came.
No, we ain't got no pictures tonight or nothing, guys.
Nothing.
We are so far behind.
So it is what it is. Whatever this live stream is, it is what it is.
Yeah, the alligator needs a name, Leslie said. It needs a name. I don't know. We'll call it, I don't know. Wilford Earl, something. I don't know.
What can we call him? Throw some names out there.
Oh, Laura says she's headed to D.C. with a crowd for the march.
Yeah. Yesterday, Jesse and Patty came, and Jesse helped Danny on the ridge cap on the she shed.
Yeah.
And then he helped do a ladder thing, and which was great because I knew I couldn't get up there and help do none of that. So Jesse always shows up at the right time. And then today, Maggie and her kids came, and we had a great time today. Bree made cookies. I'm eating a peanut butter cookie, Bree.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Gerard.
And Danny's eating one of his gluten-free cookies. That
I got a cookie here. I don't know what you call this. Is a cookie?
It's a thin sugar cookie.
Yeah.
It's gluten-free.
You probably hear it when I. Yeah.
Yeah, it snaps.
Snaps.
And
You should have called it a snap cookie, like a ginger
well,
snap.
it's a snap cookie.
Okay.
Yeah, future dreams to reality. What about the one from Peter Pan who goes after Captain Hook? What was that gator's name?
Oh, I forgot his name. Yeah.
Beauregard, Arthur,
Gary,
Al, Jaws, Elvis.
Call it AJ, Jaws, Elvis.
Wally Gator from a cartoon.
We'll call it a Wally Gopper. How about that, a Wally Gopper?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard for me to read. We swapped sides.
We did. Can y'all hear Wanda tonight?
Yeah, I'm not sure if y'all can hear me or not.
Mater the Gator. There you go.
Did I get the teapot that was on that Amazon wish list thing? If it's on the cabin wish list and it's orange, no, I haven't bought that one yet. I do have a stainless one here at the house, but I don't have the orange one if that's what you're asking about. I hadn't bought that yet. I've kind of let stuff at the cabin go because we're fixing to start working on the she shed. I've got the cabin halfway looking decent, and we've got things that we need over there. So the she shed is getting, it's taken up. We just kind of been planning, a lot of planning over there now. I'm going to do a video this week showing you what I've got plans for. They can hear me better this week. Okay.
Yeah, some say, yeah, but you're a little muffled.
Sounds like she's in a box. See, I don't understand that unless.
It still sounds muffled at times. I think it's just your voice.
It hadn't ever done that before. We've got all the other audio turned off. Last week, I think we had 2 audios on at one time.
Maybe so.
So, Toothless the Gator. Was that the name of that? Toothless?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know much of nothing anymore. So, I mean,
that's been a long time. We don't remember this stuff.
I hadn't watched TV in so long, I don't even know how to turn it on anymore. I don't even know if ours will even turn on.
I'm sure we could get it on. I mean, when there's a tornado or a hurricane, we can get it on.
It took us a while to figure it back out, but we finally get it on. Our remote don't work no more, so we don't have a remote. We have to go on the TV and manually do it. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, I remember the day where you flipped that knob.
Oh, remember when you had to get up and walk across the room and turn the knob, and you hollered to somebody outside and said, a little more, turn the antenna just a little more. You know, oh, right there, right there. Yeah. Oh, I remember those days.
Now they're saying you're muffled. So
really?
It must be something on the speaker on this side, but I don't know.
I don't know. Who cares?
We'll do the best we can.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh.
See, a lot of people, I'm trying to read.
It was TikTok because he swallowed a clock and you could hear him coming.
TikTok.
I don't know.
I forgot. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember the names. I'm not good with the names of characters and stuff. But that brings me to, we got this week. Let me see if I can pick it up without knocking them off. Danny swapped on me, so I'm
yep.
Oops. You got to hold you.
Oh, okay. I got to hold me. What are we doing here?
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get my hand out of the way.
This is, they're not sitting straight, but this is a bench with Danny and Wanda, little chicks. Danny's got on overalls. This was sent from, and I got to get the card because I don't remember the names. Michael and Yolanda in Canada. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yolanda made these for us, and my grandchildren today thought they were awesome. They thought that was the cutest thing they'd ever seen. So this is going to go in our stash. Probably go, thank you, Michael and Yolanda. Let's see if I can put it up without knocking something off.
Can you do it?
Maybe.
Can she do it?
Is the gator going to get them?
Maybe not.
The gator won't eat them, will he?
Maybe not.
All right. Those are going there. And
okay.
We thought we got a card from somebody.
We did get a card from somebody. I just don't remember.
I can't find it. So, and there may be cards in the box, but we hadn't been lately, so I don't know. Danny's been wiring today, so he's a little wired up.
I've been doing electrical all day today, so I'm wired. Every now and then, you get a little buzz or a little charge out of it,
So Maggie and the kids and I have made cookies and went over to the cabin and just chilled all day. And he's been wiring, and he's wired all day long. I mean, from
early this morning until right just a while ago.
About an hour ago.
About an hour ago, I've been running wiring in the building.
Somebody says, tell them what's happening on January the 6th.
Well, it's a day that our lives will change forever, guys. It's the day. Well, see, I can't talk about it too much because I get into some of my other videos.
Well, just a brief, hey, all it is the day they decide.
Don't forget about your stuff in the oven.
Oh, that's your stuff.
Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, January the 6th is the day that our next leader of our country, let me just say that, will be chosen. And you have to understand how all this stuff works, which I'm not sure anybody really does anymore because nobody's really honest anymore. But there's a lot of speculation that Mr. Biden will be the one who will choose the next president. Well, I don't want to say his name. But there's about 4 different ways that he can go based on past laws and based on the Constitution. And I'm just kind of sitting back going, you know, I'm going to see which way the man goes, because is he going to throw Trump under the bus and say Biden is the new president? Or is he going to be a constitutionalist? Is he going to stick by Mr. Trump? Is he going to be running in 2024 himself? So he wants to make himself look good. So, you know, it all depends on which way he decides to go. Is he going to throw out and say, I don't want all the electoral college votes and make it all be redone? It's kind of hard to say which way he's going to go. So regardless of which way it goes, you can just about expect the riots are not far from beginning to happen everywhere.
Alligator.
So we're going to have to just sit back and see that January the 6th is the day when everything in this country is probably going to change. So just get as much done as you can.
Yeah, it is. Right now, you meant Pence. You said Biden a while ago would decide. It's not
No,
Biden.
not Biden, but Pence. Okay,
Pence.
I thought I said vice president. Oh,
no.
I thought I said the vice president. Okay, maybe that's what it was.
You meant Pence decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, not really that he decides, but he is the deciding factor.
Well, he either has to announce Biden as the new president, or he has to reject the electoral college votes. I mean, there's things he has to do as the vice president. I mean, that's
you just said the person, but he meant Pence.
Yeah, I mean, Pence,
vice president announces.
The vice president announces the new president, and so it's kind of hard to say what they have up their sleeve at the moment, because right at this point, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't trust none of them. You know, I'm a profiler. I profile people.
They're all looking crooked right now.
And even, you know, I thought Pence was this really great guy in the beginning, but here lately, you know,
we're not even going there.
I'm having my doubts because of his facial expressions, you know.
So y'all stay tuned for Porch Time later.
Yeah,
or either Patreon one.
It'll be Patreon more than likely. I probably won't do it on Porch Time. I'll probably talk about it on Patreon.
So we off that subject because it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We just going to have to sit back and see how the cards are played.
We voted. Whatever they decide in the electoral thing is going to be the way it is.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, they'll still fight it. I mean, either way.
Because we've got like 80 of them that's going to says that they're not going to accept it.
But they're fighting it back and forth.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a wishy-washy something for a long time.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Right, we're done with that.
We're done with that.
Let's get back to the gator.
Yeah.
That's like gator some more.
Or a gator. There we go.
I like they got some good names there for the gator.
They got some pretty good names. I like the alley though.
Yeah, Pence doesn't really choose. He officiates.
Yeah.
He's over everything. he is the final, hey, look, that's okay, we got it.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying. Y'all are reserved seats tonight.
Yeah.
Reverse seats. Yeah, we had to see if the sound was any better.
That's it.
It may go on till January 20th. Yeah, we look for it.
I look for it to go all the way to the 20th. I do. I really look
down to the wire.
All the way down to the wire.
All right, 2020's been a cliffhanger all year long.
Yep.
Why would they not start off this year with another cliffhanger?
Well, I mean, that's not only it. Tomorrow, Nancy Pelosi actually comes up for re-election.
Okay, we're on the election.
Okay,
we're on my shirt.
Okay,
my shirt.
Shirt.
It's gonna be one of those
crazy days.
Let me get where they can see it.
Yep.
If you want one of my shirts, and what better time to wear a Crazy Days shirt than now? I'm just saying, y'all all go buy shirts in the description at bonfire.com, our Deep South Homestead store. My Crazy Days shirt's been there. Just chill. It's going to be one of them crazy days. Just chill with a cup of coffee. And my coffee says, praise the Lord and pass the coffee.
Yep.
Everybody needs a Crazy Days shirt. They come in black, red, blue. I done forgot 3 or 4 colors.
Later Gator. We could call him Later Gator.
Yeah, that's cute.
Frankie the Alligator.
Now,
okay.
What else? I gotta think. We really ain't prepared. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Actually, I mean, today was one of them crazy days. I mean, honestly, I stayed on my feet and on a ladder all day today, wiring. We ran the main entrance cables from the main power box into the shed this morning, and got all that taken care of so I could have power in the building. And then I actually got in there and started running wiring and making a list I needed and things like that. Trying to figure out how much of what kind of wire I got to have to finish out everything, how many lights we need, and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we've been busting it all day today.
These coffee cups right here, I can't get it where so somebody said they need one of these. Praise the Lord and pass the coffee. On Facebook, the group, the thing is called Faith and something. Anyway, it's the same place I had the t-shirt from last week. The cup came from there too.
Baby Donovan is the boy calf. Donovan can be way down in the pasture down there, and I can say, Donovan, hey boy. His head will pick up, and here he comes.
Us this evening. He was off in the pasture. All the other cows
he comes to me every time.
Maggie's baby Natalie, she's a year old now. And Maggie was standing right at the fence, and here comes Dixie right up to her. And I've got a picture of Dixie's face and Natalie's probably this far apart. And Natalie's trying to back up. Dixie's almost ready to just smack her because she wants a sweet potato.
She's hooked on a sweet potato.
She thought Natalie was going to give her a sweet potato. And Natalie was a little scared because when she walked up, one of them mooed real loud, and she looked at her like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's cute to watch kids with animals.
Little UC Farmer says, I wish I could be there to help you with the electrical, Danny. Used to do that. Yeah, I've done it for the longest time.
That's one of Danny's things. He loves I
love electrical.
Thought of it and having to picture how because this room is like Electric City.
Let me put it to you this way. This one room of Miss Wanda's building out there is going to have 2 freezers in it, a refrigerator, a place for dehydrators and all that in it. And I have to run separate circuits for all these. I've got 200 feet of wire in one room.
Don't y'all love it?
I mean, it's
200 feet of wire in one room.
In one room is 200 foot of wire. So.
No, Lisa, he meant pence.
I meant pence, yeah.
He did say it wrong.
I did say, yeah. But anyway.
And we do want to remember
Mr. Howie.
Miss Josie and their family. Because Mr. Howie did pass away. He's the one that did Porch Talk.
Yeah.
And they've joined in our live streams off and on throughout the year. And Danny usually goes over and watches Mr. Howie all the time. And he had mentioned about 3 weeks ago that Howie hadn't put one up. And he kept looking for it all day. And we found out later that he had the virus and that he had went into intensive care.
Yeah.
And it's what, 2-3 days ago? I can't remember what day.
About 3 days ago, he passed
anyway,
away.
I don't remember the
ago.
exact day.
Yeah.
About 3 days ago, I think he passed away.
Marshall Forum says, Danny, is the inoculant worth getting for the English peas? And the answer is yes. It usually doubles our yield. It really does. It's really good. It helps the plant to be able to take more nitrogen from the air until it gets large enough to actually begin to pull it itself. From the soil until it gets big enough to pull nitrogen from the air.
Somebody said, do you have a freeze dryer? No.
No, we don't have a freeze dryer. We might get one day, though, but I'm not sure when.
We don't right now, no. But
we don't have one, though.
We're gearing everything up for all kinds of possibilities in the future. Will the she shed be canning kitchen or just storage for all your canning supplies? The room is the storage room. There will be a canning kitchen there, and I will give you a preview before the fact.
We're going to have a tour. Week. We got a tour coming up of it and what the plans are for it. If you want to see what Ms. Wanda's planning on putting in it, you can go to, is it Amazon?
Yeah, my Amazon.
She has an Amazon wish list. If you want to see what she's planning on putting in it, you can go check out her Amazon wish list for the she shed. Because there I
change a few things off and on, but it's kind of the ideas of what I'm thinking. Yeah. And I had to change my stove this week already. Danny and I had to sit down and measure pots and stuff like that because I know how big canning pots are. And the stove I had picked out, and that's why I tell you, on my wish list, things change. The stove was not going to work, I don't think. It would have, but when we were looking at it, Danny kept saying, I don't know. So we had to take a pot and measure and figure out. And so we changed the way the stove looks. So now I've got a different style stove. I've got a sink. I'm still not sure about the sink yet. I wanted a 10-inch sink, so I've got a 10-inch sink there. But I'm still debating on is that the sink I like or do I want to change something? So until we get ready to order, it'll just be out there and I can swap it out. Until I order it, it's not a big deal. So,
Bob says, Danny, how does your legs manage to be on a ladder all day? Well, Bob, I'll tell you how it was. My dad raised me that we are just a machine. I'm 60 years old, and my dad told me that 2 good men who know what they're doing should be able to do more than 10 men who don't know what they're doing. So he said, you're just a machine, son. You can ignore pain. You can train yourself to ignore it, and I have for the most part. I don't think about it. I don't worry about it. I know it's going to happen, and I block it out of my mind, and I just go all day. I just go. Now, my heart does mess up, but, whatever.
Orphan Lady said she had ordered a freeze dryer, and hers won't be delivered till February, and so they are probably behind too. We hadn't ordered one, so
No, we hadn't ordered one.
Was wondering what kinds of stoves except a wood burning. Just curious. The stove we're putting out there is a gas stove.
It's a gas stove, yeah.
We have the wood burning heater in here that we can cook on the top. It's still like a cooktop. So we do have a wood stove to cook on if we want to. We also have a whole bunch. We're going to do a video this year, I hope in the next few weeks, on different ways to cook. We've got a lot of different ways.
Okay, Adams Eden's Farm says, Danny, what do you advise for people to do to prepare for this upcoming time? I feel like I'm prepared, but I may have missed something. Okay, the best advice I can give anybody at this point is do not have all your eggs in one basket. Have multiple choices for everything. Have multiple choices for foods. Have multiple choices for sweeteners. Have multiple choices for water. Have multiple choices for cooking. Have multiple choices for heating. Do not put all your eggs into one basket. You say, well, I'm going to heat my house with wood. That's what we're going to do. Well,
everybody else is too.
Everybody else is too. And if wood runs short, if the winter goes longer than it's supposed to, you run out of wood.
What you gonna do?
Always keep some gas bottles for a backup. Have a little gas stove, a gas heater of some sort. I mean, we have the Mr. Buddies. We've got the tankless hot water heaters. I mean, we have gas griddle systems that we can cook out here with. There's lots of things, you know, that
Future Dreams to Reality wants to know, do your Cherokee tan pumpkins ever have lumps or ribs on the tap root? I've never noticed it. What would that?
if you have lumps or ribs on your taproot, you probably have nematodes.
That's what I was thinking. It sounded like.
You probably got a nematode problem that you probably need to address by planting some broadleaf mustards during the winter months and till them in the spring, and then wait about 2 to 3 weeks after they decompose real good before you start planting again.
Loretta said, I wish I could find a welcome to the porch sign to hang on my porch. There's some places on Etsy that do signs, wooden signs and stuff. If you go over to Etsy and start type in their description, wooden signs and personalized wooden signs, you can get anything you want. There's a lot of people over there that would make signs for you. I would recommend them before some other places.
Cul-de-sac says, so last week they had the gas outage in Colorado and they had to bleed all the lines and the houses smell like gas. Does that mean they couldn't burn the fireplaces? No, you should still be able to burn your fireplace.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it would be enough to cause an explosion or anything like that. Because gas leaves a kind of a rotten egg smell to it, and I don't think it would. The only time that you have to really worry is if there's a gas leak in your house and your house is shut up, and your house becomes a giant container full of fumes, and when you flip a light switch or something like that, a little spark or a hot water heater can kick on, and it can actually, it's like a bomb then.
Yeah. And they should have medical supplies.
Well, I didn't get to that. You cut me off.
Well, I had to answer a question. You do me that way all the time.
But yeah, you want to have multiple choices for medical purposes, multiple choices for medications.
Simple fixes.
You want to like different herbs. If you can't take medicines, you need to have an alternative in an herb, or oils or something else of this nature. This goes back to the question about prepping. So just don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't go out here and buy tons of freeze-dried food or tons of dehydrated food if you don't have a water source to be able to rehydrate that food with. Because if you don't have water, dehydrated food is going to be useless to you. I mean, you got to have water to rehydrate it. So one of them goes hand in hand with the other one. So make sure you make wise decisions.
Richard's Two Family Homestead makes some wooden signs. I don't know if they do it for public or not, but they've done a whole lot of wooden signs for us and for different people. So they're on here tonight. Message Two Family Homestead and asked them, hey, would you make me a sign?
Yeah.
Thank you, William Smith. He said, Danny, you're a good man. Your talk about disciplining kids really touched a nerve with me. Hard work and having a strong community will get us through this.
That's it. The key thing there, William, is you say a strong community. One of the things that we have to keep in mind is we don't need to become complacent about our community, because when hard times hit, people's mentality changes in a community, and remember that. So don't think that things are going to be hunky-dory even just because you know somebody, because when things get hard, people's mentality will change. So be prepared to deal.
Even people you know.
For people you really know and people you really love to be somebody totally different when something happens.
I mean, we even went through that in Katrina.
We did take the biscuits.
Yes.
Okay.
Your biscuits are fine.
Okay, I just thought I keep hearing something clicking in there.
I may not. Well, did I turn the oven off?
I keep hearing something clicking.
I may have to go turn the oven off. I may not have turned it off. But I just saw something. I forgot what I was going to say. Let me go get you. See if that's still clicking.
Yes. Kitty Webb has it right. And I used to teach survival, and heat is number one. You can only last 3 hours without heat. You can go 3 days without food, or something like that, 3 weeks without food. But heat is number one. You will die faster from a lack of heat than you will from a lack of water or from a lack of food. So, so keep that in mind whenever you're prepping. Make sure you have a way in this winter time that we're going into, because guys, look, COVID didn't take away the grand solar minimum. It is still here.
Okay.
It is still going to happen.
Okay, so when he's talking about heat, most people think wood heat, that sort of thing, gas heat, all that. Think of your clothes, your shoes, your socks, your jackets, quilts, all this stuff, because I won't get rid of a quilt. I just won't, because you never know, even if it's just me and Danny, we may need extra quilts, or you don't know when somebody else is at your house and it's really cold, you need extra quilts. Then things like those solar blankets,
yeah,
that's a good thing to have around. But socks, lots of people here in Mississippi, a lot of people don't wear thick socks. And Deborah Oster sent me some really thick socks from, she lives in, I don't remember which state, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of them, Georgia, one of them. Anyway, on that side of the country. And she sent me some really warm socks. And in Mississippi, we just don't have that a whole lot. You have to go to specialty stores to buy those type of things. And so where you live, if you do have it, warm socks, warm pants, warm jackets, all that stuff, consider that part of your prep.
Richard says food, water, shelter, and a means of self-defense are essential. Yes, I mean, I figure January the 6th, whatever decision is made, is going to probably be one of the biggest gun sale days of the year. You just wait. You mark it down, check, and see if I ain't right.
Sleeping bags are good to have on hand. They are.
Oh yeah, we have 2 sleeping bags. Plus we actually have several sleeping bags. We got
space
the ones,
blankets.
we got the space blankets and all that. Yeah. Deborah's in South Carolina.
Okay. See, I said north or south. I was like,
yeah.
She said they're Carhartts. Yeah. We have a store here in town, one of our hardware stores that carries some Carhartts. So I was looking at their stuff too. They're in our store, but it's the only place that I know that carries a limited supply.
Well, see, Linda says she makes and sells quilts. So if any of y'all need a quilt, hey, get in contact with Linda. You know, tell her, say, look, I need a quilt. You know, because I'm gonna tell you, you won't go wrong by having quilts.
Yeah, and we even have what Miss B lady, she was on here I think last week. She sent us an electric blanket a few years ago. And Danny and I don't even use the electric part. That is the warmest blanket, even without the electric part on. We don't even use the electric part. You throw it on you and you are going to be warm all the time. The type material is kind of like a fleece.
Like a fleece, yeah.
Type thing, I think. But it's just a little different, but it is awesome. It is one of the best blankets I've ever seen.
Johnny says, good luck finding ammo for that new gun. Well, I haven't had any problem yet. I mean, I find ammo. It's just.
But a lot of people are saying it's very hard.
A lot of people are saying it's hard, but I mean, if you know people, you can usually get some ammunition. They just don't throw it out there in the front. I mean, if I walk into a store and I see ammunition in a store for my gun, I buy everything they've got. I don't care what it costs. I tell them I would just buy it. That way I know I'll always have it.
Long Johns, yeah. That's another thing. Last year I bought from JCPenney's, I went on and ordered Danny 4 pair of Long John pants, 4 pair of the shirts, and he got to have 2 pair to wear and the other 2 pair are stashed because he doesn't wear them all the time. And he had some others that he could wear, but I stashed some for future use.
Somebody said, how far are we from cold water? We're about 4.5 to 5 hours from cold water, south of it.
Yeah. Hudson Bay has wool blankets. They're very warm.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good warm stuff at Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite gun?
What is my favorite gun? My favorite gun is a Glock 19 pistol. That's my favorite. Now, when it comes to like if I want to shoot a deer or something, I've got a 270 that me and that thing we've been around the world and back, and I have never shot a deer with that gun that he walked. Every one of them. And of course, it's the type of bullet I use. My bullets are about $60 now, I think, for 20 bullets. So it's all about the bullet.
Yeah, and Gemini's right. We have a crossbow, and Danny also has, what is the gun in there? The
air rifle.
Air rifle. Both of them are very good to shoot, and they're very good to have on hand, and they're very quiet. These big guns make a lot of racket.
See, Wanda's got a valid point there. That's one of the things, the reason we stick with a lot of times I use a crossbow or I use an air rifle, because they don't make any noise. Nobody knows what I've done or when I've done it, and it makes it very, nobody knows what's going on. Let me just say that.
And Susan, yes, I do know GreenStalk has a new smaller tiers GreenStalk planter. I have one. I've had it since before Christmas. I just haven't been able to get a video done with the she shed build, but that's on my to-do list, is to show the new GreenStalk planter. Plus, nobody has the dirt in town yet, and so I'll have to show it. I won't be able to fill it with dirt and stuff yet because you can't put garden dirt in it. It would pack. You need fluffy dirt type stuff.
Yeah, Charlize Brown said, Danny, I ordered the Alexa Pure and a few more items, and I did a very large order. It will be here Wednesday. Thank you for the site for Alexa Pure. We talked to the company for quite a while, or I did, and was it Diamond I talked to? I believe it was Diamond. Was that his name?
No.
I can't remember his name. I talked to so many.
Adam?
Adam. I'm sorry, it's Adam. I talked to so many different people, to so many different companies, trying to work out deals so that you guys can have breaks and discounts and stuff. Because a lot of times I forget people's names, but it is Adam.
And they've been really good. I've ordered from them a couple of times in the last month or two.
We've ordered some food from them.
Yeah, we get our order within a week.
Yeah,
we've not had anything delayed. Now, they had delays back in March, April, May, June. They had some bad delays, but they've got everything going again, and everything is working smooth right now. And I've tried several of their packets that they have, and I've got more to try because we don't like recommending things unless we know that they taste decent.
Right.
And so far, everything I've gotten from them has tasted really good. And so I've just got some of it stored in case. We have plenty of our food, but I never know when somebody else will be here or when somebody's passing through that needs food. It's a barter item, so we keep some of that on hand.
What type of air gun do I have? I have an SR-22 air rifle that actually I can shoot up to 100 yards with that gun, and it does really well. I mean, Wanda's actually seen me kill crows at 100 yards with it. It has an interchangeable barrels on it. As a matter of fact, the problem is they don't make the gun no more. It's got a 177 caliber barrel and a 22 caliber barrel that goes on it. They're interchangeable. The 22 caliber is my favorite. It seems to do a better job than the one. And the thing is deadly accurate. I mean, really good.
Somebody wants to know, how will we heat the she shed? We will be heating the she shed.
No, the she shed is open.
Well, the rooms, but we're not going to be heating those.
No.
And if the rooms get too warm, plans to put a small window unit in there if we need to cool it down, because it will have a refrigerator and a freezer and stuff in it. And we won't be using like the dehydrators and stuff in the room. That's why we will have the canning kitchen. The shelves there, the cabinets will be where we sit the dehydrators and all. And that's where that heat can go out into the carport area, and we're not worried about it.
Prepper R.D. Franklin says, Danny, if you could change your career path, would you? Well, the bottom line is I don't have a career path now. I'm retired.
Path you chose, I guess.
My past path, no, I would not change anything. I've loved everything I've ever done. I've always done anything I've ever wanted. I've accomplished every goal I've ever set out to do. I have no regrets about my life. I have no regrets about any path that I have chosen.
It is what it
is. What it is. I mean, I'll often
he
tell.
He doesn't like a lot of things that happened. He would admit that.
I will admit to you that there's some things that's happened in my life that I'm not happy about, but they have built character and they've made me who I am today. Some of them have been very painful. Some of them have been hard to live with, but I probably would still not change anything.
All right. Do we keep our seeds in the freezer? Yes and no.
Well, some we do, some we don't. Some seeds are made to be kept in the freezer, like corn, peas, beans, peanuts, stuff like that. You can keep okra in the freezer.
We don't even keep all the beans
but
now.
Well, once you keep them in 2 weeks, you can take them out because you've killed the worms. But
afterward.
But things like cucumbers, tomatoes, squash, these type of things do not have to be kept in a freezer. Carrots, lettuce, these kind of things, you do not have to put them in a freezer.
Yeah, I have a little, well, it's not a big enough. It's a little thing that has trays that pull out, and that wasn't big enough. So now we have boxes with lid, plastic boxes that have seeds in them, and that wasn't big enough. So now we have a giant tote with seeds in it. So we have seeds.
We have lots of seeds.
All kinds of seeds. So I don't know. We have lots and lots of seeds.
Yes.
I don't know that we need that many seeds, but we have them in case.
Well, you never know.
We have seeds galore. And I just planted,
seeds for seeds.
Yeah, I just planted, y'all. For all of y'all that don't get to plant for 6 more months, I'm sorry. But in the greenhouse, I cleaned up a whole lot of stuff that was already past its prime. I planted green beans, some squash, cucumbers, some more Malabar spinach, 2 types of green beans, actually. We're trying the red green beans, because we had somebody tell us that it's easy to pick the red green beans because you can see them. Mm-hmm. Well, we found that with the yellow green beans. You could see the yellow green beans and it made them easier to pick. So I'm kind of anxious to see with the red ones how good it does and what they taste like.
Laura Lamontero, I can't read, the words are so tiny. Anyway, says, hey, Danny, I received my sugar cane and I am in 7A/B. How do I overwinter it? Can I put it in the ground? Yes, it needs to be in the ground now. It needs to be about 10 or 12 inches in the ground because it will dry out and it will die. It needs moisture in the ground to keep it alive. So get it in the ground as quick as you can.
Have you had any issues planting seeds from the freezer, like them not growing or producing as well?
Nope.
If they're really old.
Well, I mean, I can't even say that because I planted pink-eyed purple hulls. That was from 2012, and they still all came up.
Yeah, it was old, so they did good. Somebody said, do we worry about everybody knowing what we have if something happens? Yes and no.
That's a yes and no answer, yeah. I mean, I try to take all the precautions. We have cameras, we have monitors, we have everything around the property that lets me know when something moves on my property anywhere. And then I carry a sidearm with me all the time.
But we made this decision when we started YouTube to inform people and help them know that they can do this. So that was a decision we made up front, and we have shown pretty much everything we have around here in one way, shape, or form. We don't talk a whole lot about the cellar anymore because of things, but yes, we still have it. There's still videos out there. People can still find stuff, but they can find us on the internet. They can come straight down, and so they can you too.
They can find you just as well as they can find us.
And so we take all the precautions we can.
Do you suggest, who's that, Marie Avey, says, do you suggest having a solar generator? If you can afford one, I think it's great. Just realize that on cloudy days, if you get 3 or 4 cloudy days in a row, you're not going to have it's just not going to be as good as it would if, Yeah, that's why I said don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you got a solar generator, make sure get a natural gas one as a backup or something, you know?
Okay, I have two questions.
Yeah, some of them want to know about it. I seen that a while ago.
Do you get the Cherokee wax beans from Hall's Tools? No.
No.
They carry a yellow wax bean, but it is not the Cherokee. Because I asked Travis about it, and he said the thing is, they're the same bean. Some people call it a Cherokee yellow wax bean. Somebody may call it a honky wax bean. Who knows?
Yeah.
They just changed the first name. They're basically the same, but somebody gave us our start. So now an oil book. Let me see if I can get it where y'all can see. It's called Modern Essentials. They make several of them. This version is probably a 4-year-old version or but more, but you can get them, any of them. They're all up-to-date books, Modern Essentials. The best thing out there if you're going to do oils is this book. So that answers that question.
Let's see here.
Pat said, I ordered my seeds and the prices per pack went up close to $1 a pack, but I'm glad I was able to get what I needed. It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse, yeah.
The seeds are going to get expensive, and they're going to get
scarce and hard to find.
Yeah.
Laura says, do we have a sun oven for a backup? No, we do not have a sun oven. We've thought about getting one, but we have so many other ways to cook until at this point we just hadn't done it.
The type bacon I do is mainly the cookies and stuff like that. There's ways I can make some of that stuff without having an oven. And I'm learning those ways, and someday I hope to start showing different ways to do things that you don't have to have an oven all the time. There's just a lot to cooking that I'm even learning, and I don't want to share right now what it is, but the way I'm trying to learn to do things, people did this for years and years, and they didn't use an oven all the time. So there's ways to do things. You just may not eat exactly the same texture or the same way. Like this cookie may not come out this hard and crisp, but you can make cookies on a skillet, on a stove.
The question was asked, is it a good idea to freeze your seeds? Well, certain seeds, yes. Corn, peas, and beans and stuff like that, it's a good idea to freeze them and peanuts, because they they get worms in them. I'm just going to lie to you. They get weevils and worms in them. So it's a good idea to.
Ron, he says, miss you all. Buy some donuts. Amazon slow on shipping, and me writing also. Okay, waiting on a book from Ron. He said he was going to send one. I was wondering about that the other day. Ron's got my heart because I like donuts.
Yeah.
And we have a donut shop here in town that is privately owned that makes some really good donuts. And Wanda's going to learn how to make air fried donuts.
We'll get it down though. We'll get it down.
Yeah, I'm going to learn how to air fry donuts. All right.
What about an outdoor baking oven? We have an outdoor baking oven, and we don't use it.
You're talking about the one over at the
one at the cabin. It's just because it's kind of small.
And I could use it and I could make things. It's very small. It's there if we need it. I guess you can also use a what is it called? The big cast iron with the lid.
Dutch oven.
Dutch oven.
You can use a Dutch oven and cook anything you cook anything.
You can do a cake. You can do anything in a Dutch oven. It just takes you a little bit of practice, guys.
Kathy Tittle says, get non-GMO seeds so they will produce. And guess, let me say something about GMO seeds. You've got to have a license to be able to buy a GMO seed. So the fact that you buying a GMO seed is going to be slim to none. Because they're just.
I thought they had them out.
No, you cannot buy a GMO seed. Not yet.
Farmers can. Right?
Farmers can because they're licensed to. Okay. You have to be licensed to be able to buy GMO seeds. Now you can buy seeds that are cross-contaminated with GMO seeds and not know it.
Amy said she got a recipe for the air fried donuts. She don't want to make that was my goal. I saw somebody make some a couple of days ago. And I'm like, okay, I got to do this. And then I found a recipe a while ago. I've just got to try it. It is a poor man's candy. And I just got to try it. I'm not going to talk about it now, but if I make it and it turns out good, I'll make a video.
Kathy's got a question mark. She says, worms and seeds? Yes. Any field peas or anything like that, if you shell them out when they're dry and put them in a pan, like a aluminum pan, and shake them around and let them sit there for a minute, you'll see little worms come crawling out of the peas. So yes, there's worms in your seeds. Country Homestead Preacher says they love their Dutch ovens, and I'm telling you, those things are awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Really awesome. You can make sourdough bread in a Dutch oven. Learn how many charcoal briquettes you need to put on top of a Dutch oven lid and how many goes underneath it. There's actually 17 of them all together. I'm not going to sit here and go over that whole thing with you, but you can break down, do the math, and a certain number of them go on the lid, certain number of them go underneath them, and it becomes a perfect 350-degree oven.
Yeah, you can cook lots of stuff. Our wood burning stove, Danny took a roaster pan, you know, like the big roaster pans you put turkeys in. He put that roaster pan on top of the wood cook stove, or wood oven, what do you call it, just wood stove. He put rings in the top of it to keep the bread off of the bottom. So the cannon rings, he put them down. I put my bread dough over in a bread loaf pan, sat it down on top of the rings. We put a little bit of water in there, not much, probably half a cup maybe.
Maybe about half
just
a cup.
So there was enough moisture, it wouldn't dry out.
Moisture, yeah.
He took the lid for the roaster and put on top of it, kept the stove up to the temperature that you bake bread, and it baked that bread awesome. The only thing it did not do was brown the top because of the way, but I don't know how you would have browned it on the oven.
White Picket Fence reminded me of something. Says, do you remember the jumping beans when you was a little kid?
Yes.
I do. Remember the Mexican jumping beans?
Yes.
They had worms in them. Remember that was.
But we didn't know that when we
didn't know it. Yeah. But
my daddy told us there was worms in them beans.
Yeah.
I remembered him saying that. We thought, ooh. But I remember having the little packs.
Yeah.
And they'd bounce around in there.
So Danny, explain about the worms and the peas again, please. If you take dried peas, like field peas, now I'm not talking about English peas, they don't get in English peas, but dried field peas, and put them in an aluminum dish pan or whatever after you shell them out, and sit there and shake them all around and let them set, and roll them back, you'll look in the bottom of that pan, there'll be a little tiny white worm. He'll be less than 1/4 of an inch long, probably about 3/16 of an inch long. You'll see them crawling around in the bottom of the pan down there because they're coming out of the peas. They live in the peas. That's why you have to freeze them to kill the worms.
Somebody said, would you recommend stocking up on pest control like wasp, hornet sprays, fire ant sprays, things like that? Yes, that would be a good idea for pest control because pests are going to be one of the...
Well, pestilence, the Bible tells us in the latter days is going to get worse anyway. So anything you can do to deter pests, my suggestion is learn to companion plant the right kinds of plants around your vegetables to deter these kind of things from happening.
Yeah, and they're talking about Kim Farmer's Kitchen and Cowboy Kent Rollins. Both of them do excellent.
They do
cooking
really
all
good.
That.
Yeah.
One of the videos I did that Christmas on the figgy pudding, I saw Tim Farmer and his wife, how they did figgy pudding, and she did it with, she steamed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that, but I did a Deep South figgy pudding and made a pudding that he loves it. So I got to make you another one, remind me.
Yeah.
I forgot. He eats all of it in 2 days.
Yeah. There's lots of different pest controls out there by using herbs and stuff like that. We use some rosemary, some garlic, some onions. Y'all should see my broccoli.
They will.
Oh, you got the video coming up about the broccoli?
I hadn't made it yet, but
we have some of the most amazing broccoli we have ever grown.
And Tessie and Patty were here yesterday, and Patty and I were nibbling on broccoli all day long. Maggie and her kids were here today. They had fresh broccoli. I sent some of the broccoli stems home with Maggie so she could nibble on them for days. I put broccoli in the freezer, lots of broccoli. It just that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all will just wait till you see his broccoli. Plum pudding. I forgot about plum pudding. I've heard of that, but I haven't looked the recipe up. I'm wondering about that one. I'll have to look that one up too.
Oh, Marshall Farm says, Danny, did you stop raising pigs? And if so, why? Yes, we did.
We put 2 in the freezer and we're still eating on them.
Yeah, we put 2 of them in the freezer, which was about, gosh, I don't know, what was it, almost 400 pounds of meat?
I don't remember. No, it wasn't that much.
Yeah, it was. It was close to 400 pounds. It was 300-something pounds of meat. It was almost 400.
It was 3-something.
Yeah. We're still eating on it.
We're still eating on it.
We're still using the lard from them. Matter of fact, we made deer burgers this past week, and we used some of the pork lard in the deer burgers. So yeah, and
we built 2 ponds, so we don't have anywhere for a pig to stay right now.
Yeah, we got to build a new pig pen if we get a pen.
We are probably going to do a pig later this year, but it may be that somebody has one and we barter for it or something, and that would be our source because right now the ponds were a little more important.
Oh yeah. And who knows, we may put a pig in the pond.
He's threatening to get up to rope off part of my pond for a pig to waller in.
To waller around in up there and help seal the edges off on it and everything. Daddy always told me if you want a pond to seal off, put a pig in it. You know?
We may have to. Toothache medication.
Yes, the toothache plant.
Yeah, and cloves.
Clove oil.
Clove oil.
Yeah.
Keep that on hand. Clove oil is the best thing for a toothache.
What kind of wood is on our walls? It's called white pine. I have it stained to resemble logs.
One thing, pest control. Let's go back to that a minute. All our orange peels, I squeezed my oranges this week, and I already have a lot of orange peels dehydrated that I can use for vitamin C. And we've been working on the shed, so I had to come in, squeeze the oranges, and I got 1.5 gallons of orange juice from it. And I had all these peelings, and I'm looking at Danny. I said, I don't need any more, so I hate to throw them away. What am I going to do? So I did dehydrate them, and I'm using them for future cleaning products and control of insects, because oranges will help deter insects because it's a citrus.
Okay. 10X, is that X? Yeah, okay. 10X says, Danny, I love these overalls. These are Roundhouse. They're American made. They're very heavy. You believe me, you pay for them when you get them.
They're nearly $50.
They're almost $50 a pair. Leroy says, do you raise rabbits? We used to raise rabbits all the time, but we eat so many rabbits for so long. We had so many in the freezer that we actually got rid of our rabbits. And we've not raised any now for about a year, I think.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years now we hadn't raised any.
It was probably the best fertilized we had. It was really awesome. We liked having the fertilized.
Yeah.
We liked having the rabbit meat. We liked having that on hand. But we just, like everything else, sometimes you get burnt out on the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
So we kind of got rid of it and intended to start back because it was getting summertime and our rabbits were getting a little older. And I told him, I said, let's just do away with the rabbits. And in the winter, we'll get more rabbits. Well, in between, we got a dog that was in the pen that should have been built for the rabbits. And then the dog took off last year. So now we've just waited. And then we got rid of the pen. Yeah. Danny kind of shoved up my pen. So we don't have that anymore.
And Marie says, Danny, I'm wondering about your opinion on buying gold and silver. Well, let me tell you, in the Bible, I believe it was in the book of Ezekiel, or Daniel, I forgot right now. It says in the latter days of an age like we're living in, that we'll come to a point where they will cast the gold and the silver into the street and they will curse it because they cannot eat it. And if that's going to happen, I would say, no, I'm not going to invest in the gold and silver because it's just going to end up throwing it in the street. I would put it into some sort of tangible objects that I can use to make food, to grow food, or into food itself rather than putting it into gold and silver.
One reason for us building 2 ponds.
Exactly.
And the purpose of the ponds we have fish in both ponds.
Yep.
Another purpose, they feed our cows. So if we don't have a well to pump water out of, we have the ponds that will water the cows. Another is the water from the ponds we can go get and put in our greenhouse and water the greenhouse. And it serves as two purposes, water and fertilize from the fish. So the ponds were like a major step towards self-sustainability here on our homestead. They were a huge, huge step. Do I need to prep rabbit poop fertilize or use it straight? Use it straight.
Use it straight. Rabbit fertilize is called a cold fertilize. Very safe. You can use it right straight, even on new plants.
Yes, Kathy, I have orange peels and vinegar now for using for cleaning. Do your bananas turn out, or the hurricane blew them over and we left them on the vine for a while? That's the bananas. And then about 2 weeks ago, Danny cut it off because it was fixing to freeze. And we laid them on the table and they were still all green. And over the last few days, they gradually started turning, but most of them will turn yellow and brown within a day because they just weren't mature. They didn't get big enough, but I have opened 2 or 3 of them of the longer ones. And there's like a long string in the middle that hasn't developed, but there's the soft banana part around it. And it tastes like a banana. It smells like a banana. It just is not full like a banana. It was too young. They would needed a couple of more months. But at least we grew bananas. Let's see. Throw me some gold. I'll throw you some bread.
Well, the thing about it is, all it takes is the stroke of a pen to make it illegal for you to own gold. Because for the biggest portion of our history, and after the Great Depression, up until here, just was in the 80s or something like that, it was illegal to own gold. So all it takes is for the government to say, you've got to hand in all your gold because now it is illegal. Our nation has gone bankrupt. We need all the gold to help pay our debts. So it's illegal for you to own gold. And the gold that you have, you'll have to get rid of it anyway. So.
And Mr. Jones saying a little bit of gold to pay taxes because his mother lost her home in the Great Depression because there weren't any money to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need some stash of something, but don't put everything into that.
Don't put all your money into gold and silver.
Yeah.
Never put all your.
Don't be broke.
Yeah.
That's I guess.
Don't ever allow yourself to be broke if you can help it.
I mean, some people may, but try not to be.
I mean, I know people during the Great Depression. I've talked to these older men. One of them, he picked up pecans and sold them to help pay his land taxes. One guy caught gophers and sold them to pay his land taxes. One guy picked blueberries and sold them to pay his land taxes. One guy raised cows and sold them to pay his land taxes. One guy caught skunks and sold the hides off of them and caught bobcats and stuff like that to pay his land taxes. You just got to figure out what to do. Whatever the niche is for that time is what you've got to do.
Yeah. And I know some back in the day, listening to older ladies talk, some of them took in ironing and stuff like that just to keep their place and all. I mean, there was many things they did do. Nowadays, I don't know how that would work because most people don't even know their neighbors or anybody else to barter with, but.
Amy wants to know, do we have a heater in our greenhouses? The answer is no. If not, how does the veggies grow so well in them when it gets so cold?
Well, we lost some of them.
We did lose a few tender vegetables, but as a whole, everything is still doing great. You just have to be diligent with them. You have to be able to open them up on real hot days.
Close them up.
And you got to close them up before it gets dark in the evening and let them lock some of that heat in there. You got to have thermal mass. You got to have black objects in there, something, stone, barrels of water, black ground cover, something that absorbs heat and holds it. And you got to be able to lock that greenhouse down completely so that the heat cannot escape out of it during the night. And usually a tomato plant will even still grow at 40 degrees. I mean,
Mine, the tomato plants was one thing I lost because it got cold and then it got hot, and it would get cold and then it would get hot.
Yeah.
And the heat in there, like one day this week, got up to 105. I didn't realize that it was getting that hot in there because it was kind of cool outside. But the sun hitting that greenhouse was warming it up because I had the sides down. We don't have the electricity yet, so the fans can't open. And I usually leave it open on hot days, but that day I forgot. And it was getting really warm when I discovered it. So I finally opened everything up, cooled it back off, watered it, and everything's perked up. I mean, I'm growing English peas right now. But I did lose most of the tomatoes. They got frozen from the cold, even though they were in the greenhouse. They froze because they were right next to the outer wall. The beans didn't freeze, but they were at their end peak. So I took all the beans out. What else? Something else. Some of the potatoes got cold. They didn't freeze, but the leaves got cold.
Yeah. Danny, do you like coffee or tea? I used to drink coffee and tea every day, but since I had the heart problem, my cardiologist told me, said no more coffee, no more anything with caffeine in it, because I have a problem when my heart starts racing and then it just completely stops, and I go into cardiac arrest and I'll pass out. But usually my heart starts back before I actually die. So I don't.
He feels himself going out, and then it's like it jolts him.
Yeah. So to answer that is no. I do not drink coffee or tea anymore. All I drink is what you see right here, just water, or I may drink some homemade fruit juices.
Yeah, we have orange juice, muscadine,
scuppernong, stuff like that. I will drink some of that, but I do not drink.
Sometimes pineapple. And
occasionally, I'll drink a little bit of hot chocolate, but not very often.
What was the name of the roaster pepper? The red roaster? What was it called?
That's what it's called, red roaster.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Just red roaster?
It's called a red roaster pepper. They were very hard to get here a year or so ago because they were the #1 pepper in the nation. And I bought enough seeds to probably last me for several years, because all it really takes is 3 or 4 seeds, especially in a greenhouse. 3 seeds in a greenhouse is all you need.
The citrus in the greenhouse.
They're doing great.
They're all doing
They're all
good.
doing fine.
Now, the banana took a little bit of the cold. It didn't freeze.
It didn't kill it.
No, it didn't
just
freeze.
bit the ends of the leaves a little bit. It's kind of a little brown around the edges of the leaves. But my greenhouse, I'm not closing down. I want it to stay cold because my peach trees need to go through, and apple trees in it need to go through the chill hours. So I want it to be cold.
Prepper says something about CAFIX is a non-caffeine. So is Ticino. I drink Ticino all the time, and it's a no-caff drink. It replaces coffee, and I've got hooked on my Ticino. I love most of the flavors that I've tried so far. And it's all like figs, dates, chicory, that kind of stuff. It's really good, and it's good for you.
Richard said, I should have got a defibrillator for Christmas. No, I do not want to be shocked by one of them things. I figure when it's my time to go, I'm going to just go. I've lived my life. My life has been full. I have enjoyed it. I'm ready. When the good Lord gets ready for me, I'm ready.
The only way he's going to get a defibrillator, if he passes out on the floor, I send him to the hospital and I say, hey, just stick one of them in there. He can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, then I can't do anything about it. Where is a good place to get a greenhouse high tone? Grower Solutions. Use our promo code Deepsouth, and you will get 10% off of the price of a greenhouse and supplies. Dennis, I know it is Dennis, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I'm not able to read the chat very much. I'm seeing pieces of it.
Yeah, so that we cut a deal with Grower Solutions so that we don't get any money from it, but we made a deal with them for our subscribers if they would give y'all a 10% discount on any of your greenhouses or irrigation or anything like that. And that's a one-time purchase. So whatever you're going to get all you can get for that one time.
When do seed potatoes usually come in at the co-op?
It depends on where you live.
Yeah, ours usually comes.
Ours comes in January, about mid-January.
Yeah, mid to end January.
Yeah.
I know that I am closer to the cemetery than the cradle, ready for when it
The
is
time
up.
is up.
That's
Yeah.
D. Hey D. Howdy. Howdy. I love how she does that. Howdy. We purchased seeds early this year after the CV were endangered species.
Seeds were endangered species. Yeah, it was hard to get them. Matter of fact, in some states it was illegal.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Gemini's putting my Ticino link up. Yeah, I am an affiliate for Ticino, y'all. And so if you buy through that link, I do get a little bit of compensation there. I like the flavors. Vanilla nut, that's my favorite, and pumpkin spice is ranking up there pretty good this winter.
Ian Lackey said that was the same condition. I have a pacemaker, defibrillator, saved my life in March. According to the computer, my chest, the heart rate went to 396. Shocked me 5 times. Now I have PTSD.
Yeah, I imagine.
I already have PTSD, and I didn't want to add to it.
He don't want to add that to it because he already freaks out thinking he might have to have one.
It bothers me just knowing I have to have one.
Angie, I ordered my Ticino from the link that Gemini Homestead just posted, ticino.com. I've got a link in the description that you can click on. It'll take you there and it'll work.
Sharon, we are not having a special event in March. She said she's watching Tara on YouTube, and she said she was coming to Wiggins in March of this year. So
you may be looking at an
old video because that's what I was thinking.
Tara was here 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I think 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. Tara did come to Wiggins 2 years ago, but this year we're not having anything because it is so uncertain. Last year we were down to the last 2 weeks before we had to call it off, and you don't want to put that much work into something and have to call it off 2 years in a row. So we're just gonna chill with it. What's your favorite okra?
What is my favorite okra?
Star of David.
Well, I like the Star of David for frying okra. But for just eating, the new bush okra is going to be my best. Yeah. A while ago, there was a question asked, are we going to be selling the bush okra seeds? And I don't know if we have enough of them this year to sell.
No, and I talked to Grow Family Network, and he told me he didn't have a whole bunch right now, but he may have some that he may sell in the future. But I've got seeds that I'm drying right now. If I sell it, it's going to be like 3 or 4 or 5 seeds at a time. It's not going to be very many if I sell any.
Thank you, Whiskey Woman Whisks. Where to get seed potatoes and when to plant sweet and gold? Your best option, if you go ahead and order now, will be at Hoss Tool Seed Company. They have about 8 to 10 different varieties of seed potatoes. If you get your order in early, you'll probably be pretty guaranteed to get them because Travis and them said the other day that they were going to go ahead and be getting them in. So I would say Hoss Tool to be sure you can get them.
And sweet potatoes, you buy slips.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we don't really have a place. We were hoping to sell slips, but Mississippi is not supposed to sell sweet potato slips to anybody. So that kind of killed our little thing there.
But I will tell you this, Whiskey Woman Whisk, email us this March
or April.
And if we have any extra, we might work a deal out with you.
Yeah. Did I get an affiliation with Purdue yet? I have not. I need to call and talk to them, but we've been so busy. I have not been able to. I did send an email and they said call. The email went to the wrong department, I guess. So I've got to call and talk to them.
Danny, how much land would you suggest for a first-time homesteader to buy? Nothing less than 20 acres.
He used to say 10. But
I used to say 10, but 10 ain't enough, I'm going to tell you. I'm learning from experience. It's going to take 20. Now, if you go back to the 1920s in the early turn of the century, it was deemed as 2 acres per person in the family, and that's just for raising food. That's not for livestock or anything else. That's that was the ruling that the federal government gave out at that time.
Aletha, yes, the Star of David does can real well, but any of it cans well. And
Star of David's better for canning if you're going to fry it.
Yeah, if you're going to fry it, the Star of David is excellent for that because it is a real thick, heavy okra. Let's see.
Let's see here. I planted potatoes from the store and have been harvesting for 3 years. Yeah, it works. I mean, if you get them without the sprout nip on them.
Yeah. Yeah, and Laura's right. We have plenty of videos in a playlist on sweet potatoes. Danny has wrote a sweet potato manual for any of you that don't know.
Yeah.
It step by step shows pictures, how to grow the slips, how to plant them, how to harvest potatoes, how to cure potatoes, how to can potatoes, how to cook with potatoes. It's all in a little manual, and you can get it on our Etsy store.
Yeah, deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com. You can pick up the sweet potato manual there. I also have one I've wrote on English peas. So either one, if you're interested, I mean, they're both there.
Yeah, NC Farmer says they tried the canned fried okra, and it's great. It is awesome.
I actually like the canned fried okra better than I do the fresh fried okra.
Yeah. I usually open a jar and put it in my air fryer now. I've learned that we're liking the air fryer pretty good. Seems to be the best way for making things fried without frying them. So he said, I thought it was 40 acres and a mule for a homesteader. If you have 40 acres and a mule, you might get by.
If you got the money to get 40 acres and a mule, you'd be great.
Can elderberries grow in large containers?
Yes.
Do we ship
any of our seeds from our Etsy store to Canada? We're not allowed to ship seeds outside the country.
Yeah, we're not. We can't do that. If we were to try, both of us might get in trouble. So that's not something we do.
Lady Kicks 34 says, remind me what state you're in. We are in Mississippi. We're in southern Mississippi, about 30 miles north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Which air fryer? It's called Westa, Weesta. It is a brand that somebody sent to me to do a review. I've had 2 air fryers. One, I don't remember the other one, was a small air fryer that I got a year and a half or so ago, and I used that for a while. But Westa sent an oven air fryer, and it does baking. I can bake in it as well as do air frying, and I really like it. It's doing really well.
Thomas says, Danny, the Foxfire book series are good books on the old lost skills. I know I have most of the series. I like 2 or 3 books having the whole series.
Yeah, I need to check and see if I can get the rest of them.
But we love those books. I sit down sometimes and just read them, and I love them. I've had them for years.
Cowhorn, we have not planted the cowhorn okra.
I've planted it in the past, but I haven't planted any lately. I haven't planted any lately.
We haven't done that.
How long do you process your okra for?
You talking about in jars? You do not process.
I think we don't process it if it's in jars.
Okra is the one thing that you do not have to put in a canner or a water bath canner. When you, I have a recipe on, I want to say it's on Deep South, on how to can okra. And look it up. You simply boil water, vinegar, and salt, I think, but the combination, you'll have to look for the amounts on the video, but water, vinegar, and salt, you boil it, you put your okra in there, and I can't remember if you continue to boil for a minute or 2, and then you jar it up, and the hotness of it will seal the jar. It's good for at least 5 years.
See, Old South Homestead said, Danny, maybe we can do something where we can ship the slips for you. We have a nursery license to ship live plants. Wow. We might have to see about that.
Are you in Mississippi, or does it matter? That's one of the deals. We don't know exactly what the law says.
First of all, we got to find out. Old South, are y'all located in Mississippi? I don't really remember. It seems like I should know that. But,
yeah, I know. I thought that too. What variety of carrots do we grow in your outside raised beds? They are Kuroda.
Kuroda. They're from Hawaii. Kitazawa Seed Company sells them. The best carrots I've ever found.
Yeah, usually we would do Danvers half long. But once we found these Corotas, they seem to produce, they're a smooth carrot. When you pull them out of the ground, you can just wash them off and eat them. They don't have those little crinkles all in them that get dirt in them when they're full grown. Now, I've had to wash some of the little ones a little bit, but they're a really nice carrot.
Cul-de-sac grocery says, so it's pickled okra? It's not really pickled okra. When you take
No,
it out, it doesn't even have much of a vinegary taste to it.
it's like if you do a gallon of water, you put maybe a half a cup of vinegar, and then it's a good bit of salt. I done forgot the amount of salt, but that's not the proportions. Don't quote me on that. But it's a lot of water, a little bit of vinegar, and a good bit of salt. And the vinegar and salt's what preserves it. But it does not have that vinegar taste when you cook it. It is really good okra.
Do we use the mulch method in our gardens at all? No, we have too much of a problem with fire ants and insects and stuff, so we do not use that.
We have videos that show where we tried that.
Ian Lackey says, where can you buy the Cherokee yellow wax beans?
We don't know.
I don't know where you can get them at the moment. We have some, but I don't know.
There, you can search online, but most everything I looked at this past year, because I was going to buy some more, the Cherokee yellow wax beans, I'll say sold out usually.
Yeah.
Now I can get a yellow wax bean. Hoss Tool has a yellow wax bean, and they would probably be just as good. But to have the name Cherokee wax bean, you might be limited in where you find them. But you check all places for them and see if they're.
Bobby says, have you ever tried Alabama's red okra?
Yes.
I think we have. Yes, so we
Yes,
have.
we
tried,
have.
Yes, we've tried that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can you grow Corota carrots in a GreenStalk? You can grow anything you want in a GreenStalk. Yeah, they'll work fine.
You just can't put in a GreenStalk to grow the carrots. I think it's 1 or 2 in each section. It might be 3.
I think it's 3 per.
It might be 3 per little section, but you could grow carrots in it. It would work. Yes, I do air fry okra. Yeah. I did that today. Actually, Danny had okra for lunch. They're saying Vermont Bean sells the Cherokee bush bean. So check with Vermont Bean Seeds. Yeah. I know the ones we got, we
order from Vermont.
Yeah, but the ones we got originally was in a paper bag, like comes from a small co-op.
Yeah.
A family-owned co-op. That's how we used to get them years ago, is they would scoop them up, pour them in a bag, and seal the bag and write on them what it is. So somebody sent those to us, and that's where we got our start. The Cherokee tan pumpkins, I will have some more seeds. We have some dried, so I should, if I can think of it tomorrow, I'll put the Cherokee tan pumpkin seeds we have back up, and we will have some for sale for a limited time.
Pepper Franklin says, Danny, what is your favorite meat to eat? It would be hair sheep. I like Katahdin. I love the taste of Katahdin sheep. I love, what is the other one? New Zealand lamb. I like that.
And you like halibut.
Halibut. That's what he wants to know about.
That is meat.
What is my favorite meat to eat? That's fish.
Fish is meat.
I know, but it still is fish to me. What is my thoughts on walking potato onions?
No.
It's just
like
it's like the Egyptian walking onions. Yeah, I think they're good. I think they're a good. Plant them once, and they just keep producing.
Marshall Farm says Pantry sells the Cherokee wax beans. So there's a couple of places to check with.
Yeah, we order through Pantry occasionally too. Danny is on 7. How early can I direct sow English peas? Probably the end of January.
And Gurney's has the Cherokee yellow wax beans. So check those out. I know when I was looking about 3 months ago, everything was sold out. But check with them and see if they do.
What's a good place to get field peas?
House Tools has
Hoss
some.
Tool has some field peas. I mean, most any co-op in southern Mississippi, Alabama has field peas. I mean, you can get, there's just tons of field peas out there.
Garden Granny says your sweet potato manual is great. They will be trying that this year. You can grow sweet potatoes. I've had so many people say, I got Danny's manual and I grew sweet potatoes for the first time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is one of the easiest things to grow once you learn how.
Yeah. Best place to buy sweet potato slips? Well,
make your own.
If you buy my manual, you'll learn how to make your own, and it don't cost you nothing. You can have all you want.
Yeah. What are my favorite desserts to bake? Well, if I'm going to be eating them, I like brownies and I like cookies that are soft and things like that. But if I'm baking for Danny, I like to be able to make like the baked donut things I've been making. I like to make his sweet potato dessert. We actually like the figgy pudding. That was a really good deal for both of us. Both recipes that I did a gluten one for me and a gluten-free one for him, and we both liked the recipes.
Timothy says, I have something eating a hole in the top of my watermelons. What kind of animal would do that? It's called a raccoon or a coyote. Both of them eat holes in the top of the watermelon.
Boiled peanuts, do you?
Oh, yeah, we like boiled peanuts.
I've got some in jars.
We've got jars of them in the cellar still.
Yeah, we had 3 years because of it.
Yeah.
I think we need to do some this year.
I got some peanuts growing in your greenhouse.
Two
plants just to see if they would do.
But we really need to plant some this year. We haven't planted any in 3 years. And so I think I've got like 5 or 6 jars left. I think it's time.
Susie Q says, I want to buy some land to raise a garden. You better get in line, girl, because I'm telling you, it's going fast.
Cul-de-sac, you can do it. You can grow those.
You can grow it. We're already at 9:30 almost here. We got to get off of here. People's got to go to bed. Lohan says, I just checked Gurney's and they're out of stock.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm telling you guys, a lot of places are going to be out of stock right now.
Okay, so we do want to remember Miss Josie and her family on the passing of Mr. Howie.
Yep.
Life in Farmland, Eric. Trying to think, who else?
Wanda works about 6 hours a day around the farm, and the rest of it she's on YouTube.
No, I cook more than I do anything else.
That's working.
I have to. Mine is the cooking and cleaning seems to take a lot of time, and editing and just simply conversing back and forth with people on YouTube and Facebook and emails and all that kind of stuff takes a lot of time. And I pretty much shut down to help with the she shed so we could get that built. When we do big projects like the greenhouses, I shut everything down. Yeah, the videos still go, but I'll be up at 10 o'clock at night editing a video to get it up the next day or a couple of days later. And I did shut down Deep South Homestead Gathering Place, the group on Facebook, because I just don't have time to deal with it. And the Deep South page is still open. Over there, I'll post things off and on, and you can keep up with Deep South on Facebook if you're still on Facebook on Deep South Homestead. But the gathering place did shut down because we are not going to be having a gathering, and it just got to be too much.
Okay. I guess we need to go ahead and pray before we can let these people get off of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The I Am of Me says, pray for me. My baby, my last child, moved out today.
Well, you're an empty nester now.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get over sometimes. It takes a little while, but you can do it.
ABCXYZ said my daughter's biopsy came back negative this week. Amen.
Denise said to remember her daughter, her test comes back tomorrow.
Okay, I did see that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, was this something you're supposed to show today? Or?
Oh, I was going to show that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I laid it over there.
Okay, before we go.
Yeah, my daughter brought me this today. Both my daughters got in on this one. Let's see, where am I at? It is an ornament for my Christmas tree for next year. It says Danny and Wanda, Deep South Homestead, 2020, and the zeros are toilet paper. So I did want to show that because I did get a new ornament today.
Yeah. I just happened to see it laying over there, and I knew you had mentioned something about it.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, guys, we're gonna jump off of here and go ahead and pray, and throw your prayer request up. And guys, when you see these prayer requests come up, continually pray for these people, and ask that people pray for you if you need it, and pray for our country. Pray for what we got coming up this week, because before we meet again, our fate will be decided for the next 4 years.
Quite possibly. It might be 2 weeks. But...
Might be 2 weeks, but I'm pretty sure they're going to decide our fate for the next 4 years. So, you know, I want to pray about that too.
And it is what it is. We've got to learn how to deal with it, just like anything that comes along.
Well, we have to understand that God puts into power those who he wants in power. That's what it says in Daniel, in the book of Daniel. I think it's chapter 2 or 4, verse 21, somewhere along in that area. He says, I put into power who I want. You know, I raise up kings, I take down kings. So we have to accept what happens. So
Stacy's 2-year-old grandson.
Yeah. Prayer for Trump there. Yeah. Father, we come to you tonight, Lord. We just want to tell you we once again appreciate the beautiful week that you've given us. Thank you for the things that we've got accomplished this week, Lord. It's been a trying week in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's been challenging, but in a lot of ways, it's been blessed. So, Father, we thank you for all the ups and all the downs, because it creates the character in us that we need to be able to be successful people now. And Lord, we want to start off by remembering Mr. Howie's family as he's gone on to be with you. Mr. Howie seemed like a good man, Lord. I never got to talk to him in person, but I did watch a lot of his porch talks, and I really enjoyed them. He seemed like a very genuine individual, and Father, he will be missed not only by his family but by his YouTube family also. And I pray that now, as Miss Josie's a widow, Father, you'll keep your word in Scripture, and that you will meet her needs and help her to find some sort of sense out of all this, and some closure, Father, in all that's going on around her now. And Lord, we think about our election system that we have going on now. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but we pray for our country and our elected officials between now and January the 6th. Father, whatever decisions that they make, give us the grace to accept whatever it is, Father, and then give us the backbone that we each need to be able to stand up if we need to stand up, Father, and that we can be counted for as being good American citizens, as well as being faithful children to the Lord now. And Father, we pray for those that have mentioned on here. They had lots of families on here that needed prayer for their kids, and Lord, we just pray for them, the test results that some of them had talked about. And Father, we want to stop at this moment and praise you for the test results that came back negative on the one person, Lord. That's always a great sign. That's always a sign that you, Lord, the great physician, are at the helm working, and we appreciate that. Father, we just want to ask that as we go into these hard, uncertain times ahead, that you help us to be able to provide for ourselves. Give us the wisdom, give us the knowledge, and give us the understanding to know what to do and when to do it and how to do it, Lord, so that we can be better prepared for the days when they come. And when they do come, Lord, I pray that anxiety does not overtake us and that fear does not overtake us, because we know from Scripture you say that fear is not from you. It is of the devil, Lord. And Father, we want to try to remember that as much as possible and try to find some sort of sanity in all that's going on around us now. And Father, because of that, we ask for the fruits of the Spirit, Lord, for the love, the joy, the peace, and the comfort for everything that we need. And along with that, we pray for the blessings of obedience from Deuteronomy, Lord, where if we're faithful, you've said you'll make us the head and not the tail, and we'll always be lending. We'll never have to borrow, Father, and our storehouses will always be full. Our oil will never run out. We'll be blessed in the city. We'll be blessed in the country, Lord. No matter where we're at, we will be blessed because we belong to you, a child of the King now. Go with us throughout the remainder of the night and throughout tomorrow. Give us good health, give us strength. We claim the promises in Isaiah where you say you will mount up wings like an eagle, we'll run and not be tired, Lord. Those are things that we claim on our lives. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. All right.
All right, so I'm trying to read.
GreenStalks would be great for saving carrot seeds, they said.
Yeah, you have to leave them 2 years. We tried 1 year to.
It's a biennial plant, yes.
We tried to save some carrot seeds. It's been 3 or 4 years ago, and got to the point of having seeds, and then something happened to the plant. I don't remember if an animal got it.
I don't remember what happened. It sounded like something ate the plant.
The chickens or the something
happened,
seemed like the chickens got out and ate our seeds, and I was like, okay, 2 years waiting on that, and then something gets it.
And something got it. We just should have been better stewards of it, I suppose.
Well, it was about 6 foot from a chicken pen, and they flew out. Remember, that's when they would fly. That we had some chickens that would fly. All right, guys, we've got to get off. I've got to go finish up with his stuff and get it put up for the night. And we will have a couple more she shed videos this week where we put on the trim, we show you the outside, and then I'm going to show you a video of the inside and what my plans are if he can make it happen.
Yeah.
And a greenhouse video.
We do have a greenhouse video.
If I ever get it done.
Maybe more than one greenhouse video coming up. Yeah. Because, guys, greenhouses are going to be the way of the future. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. If you don't have one, you need to get one.
You got to have some way to.
You're going to have some way.
Your plant.
Yes.
And so far, ours are working really well. Even my little GreenStalk in the mini greenhouse has been working really well. I've got things in there, so I'm going to try and show all that within the next week, either on Crazy Days. Some of it may be on there, on Deep South. I'm trying to work it around. So y'all bear with us in the new year as we change a few gears, figure out a few things, shut down some things, add some new things. It's going to be a ride. It's
going to be a ride this year.
It is.
Just seeing Tori pop in. Hello, Tori.
It is what it is.
It is what it is this year, guys. And with that, we will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care and
good night.
Good night.